Hello and welcome. I'm Arjun Sky, and today we'll be looking at the Order of the Blazing Sun. Now, the Order of the Blazing Sun is the Templar order dedicated to the worship and martial practice of the goddess of warfare and battles, Myrmidia. This particular order is amongst one of the most well known within the Empire, as their order does not worship a native god of the Empire, but a foreign one, hailing from the lands of Thelia, as well as having a distinguished history dating back to the last few years of the Great Crusade. They were amongst the first of the knightly orders from the west to travel to Null and join Magnus the Pious during the Great War against Chaos, and having fought with him all the way to the Battle of Kislev itself. These knights take great pride in their weapons and abilities, as their prowess in battle is equal if not greater than even the oldest and most powerful of the many Templar orders. They are often seen charging on the battlefield in their highly polished and resplendent armor of black and gold, with sigils of the sun adorned beautifully in their armor, a style that is the traditional color scheme and heraldry of the order. As a patron order, yes, devoted to the goddess Myrmidia, these Templars devoted themselves to study and mastery of the science and arts of warfare in all aspects. These fervent followers of Myrmidia value ability and accomplishment over all other factions, including noble birth and their prowess in battle. It is because of this that the Order has grown in prosperity over the years, attracting the finest military minds to its long and distinguished banner. A Knight of the Blazing Sun's primary goal is to obtain perfection in the art of war, and as such they travel to the length and breadth of the old world, individually seeking to battle both large and small, and to learn and perfect the many tactics and strategies from all other human nations. An army with a unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun at its head is a potent force capable of dealing with opponents with a level of cunning, leadership, and strategy that ensures victory before the battle is even joined. That was a little bit of the overview of them. For most of the many knightly orders in the service of Media, the Knights of the Blazing Sun were not always so pious. They were founded during the Great Crusade in the year 1455 IC, over years ago. These first knights were formerly a secular order of the empire, sworn to no one god, but during the precursor to the Crusade of Arabi, they underwent a miraculous conversion that has passed into legends. 60 of the original founding knights were stationed in Estalia when the Sultan's attack washed over them during the Battle of Magrita. They were cornered by his forces, with no hope of relief, but it was then that they were saved from certain defeat by a freak earth tremor which dislodged a huge statue of Myrmidia from a temple roof. It crashed to the ground and landed on Emir Wazir the Cruel and his black scimitar guard, killing them instantly, thus allowing the knights to turn the tide of battle and escort several hundred Estalians to safety. After the battle, the survivors banded together and founded the Order of the Blazing Sun in Myrmidia's honor. They converted to the worship of Myrmidia and set out on the crusade to Arabi in the name of the goddess of strategy and battle, earning much glory for themselves and their faith. Upon their return to the empire, they built a shrine to Myrmidia in the heart of Talabheim. The Knights of the Blazing Sun are by no means the largest of Myrmidian orders. For example, the Order of the Righteous Spears, along with its countless sister orders, is much more larger. But thanks to this reputation, the Order of the Blazing Sun is by far the most famous and well respected, not to mention the richest within the empire. The order was formerly based in the middle of the empire within the heartland of Taubekland, but due to their popularity they have begun to rapidly gain support and influence in the south. And in these parts, the order holds a great deal of political power amongst the nobility. In recent years, the cult of Myrmidia has also gained a stronghold among the imperial warriors of the empire, replacing Ulrich in the prayers of the more southerly soldiers. As the cult that has ascended, so too has the order's fortune, wealth, and power. Foremost of the order's duty is the maintenance and guarding of the important pilgrimage routes between the empire and the holy sites of Magrita. These duties have proven to be especially lucrative, and as many upper-class would-be pilgrims are willing to pay handsomely for the guarantee that their gods will indeed keep them safe as they travel, albeit using the Myrmidons as a vassal to ensure their safety. Since it was established, the order has spread throughout the lands of distant Estalia and is one of the most prominent of the knightly orders in the distant nation. Unlike most other Templar orders, its members do not reside in large chapter houses. Instead, they travel the land individually or in small groups, looking for new challenges to test their skills and lend their aid to the poor and defenseless. They are well versed in the use of arms and armor, but their true expertise is as tacticians and strategists, and they often serve as a military advisor and commanders on the battlefield when the former commander is far too incompetent to lead. Throughout Estalia, countless villages, farms, and isolated outposts owe their survival to the timely arrival and subsequent assumption of command by a Knight of the Blazing Sun. Since these knights spend a great deal of time away from their chapter house and temples, often embarking on crusades or quests for the glory of their order, they would often travel in small groups of their fellows, sometimes even alone, and lend support to whatever military endeavors is most needed for their aid, whereas bolstering beleaguered units of soldiers on the battlefield, taking command of leaderless companies in the midst of a campaign, offering military advice to generals and nobles, or training local militia in the art of warfare. Each knight must spend the first several years directly after his initiation performing these sort of deeds, and only after putting his skills and training to the test may he return to the chapter house as a full brother of the order. Once they return, these knights would normally live in a similar fashion as their other fellow knights, but there are some notable differences. The knights spend a great deal of time training in rather unusual methods of warfare, unafraid to experiment with ploys, tactics, and equipment other knightly orders might overlook or find unhonorable. Many of these knights are even well-trained archers, a result which led to the formation of the Knights of the Verdant Field. Some of the knights have been known to use highly burnished shields, employed to dazzle the knight's opponents with reflected sunlight and strike while they're blind. When not doing physically, when when not doing physical training, these knights would spend a great deal of time on the discussion board of military tactics, deployment and maneuver of entire armies, use of terrain, placement of artillery. While all knights have a grounding in military theory, the greatest tactician in the empire may be found within the ranks of the order itself. Thank you for watching and listening to this short video about the Knights of the Blazing Sun. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, leave a like, and stay tuned for more videos upon knightly orders in the old world.